They say love is blind. But maybe love just has very selective vision. Here's a question for you. If a woman truly loves you, how would you know? I'm not talking about Netflix cuddles, birthday cards, or the warm fuzzy stuff you can replicate with a heating pad and a Hallmark subscription. I'm talking about the kind of love that changes the physics of a woman's world. The kind of love that rearranges her emotional furniture without her asking for permission or even realizing it's happening. Because here's what most people don't tell you. When a woman genuinely loves you, she doesn't just show it. She leaks it in how she pauses, in what she hides, in where she looks when you're not looking. You don't catch it in the fireworks. You find it in the glitches, in the in-between moments when she forgets she's performing. A 2018 study from the University of California found that people in love tend to unconsciously mirror each other's brain waves during conversation. That's not poetry. That's neuroscience. Your presence, your voice, literally rewires her. And yet, you're still scrolling Reddit at 2 a.m., wondering if she actually loves you, or just loves the idea of not being alone. Let's fix that. No fluff. No fairy tales. No BS. Just 7 powerful signs that she's not just into you, not just liking your vibe, but actually deeply, spiritually entangled with you. If you're the kind of man who doesn't want surface-level advice, if you're done playing games, if you're ready to understand women and yourself on a deeper, almost uncomfortable level, then listen closely. This is Save Yourself, and I just dropped a members-only video I can't share publicly. It's raw. It's personal. It's the kind of truth that gets demonetized or misunderstood. Only the real ones will get access. Links in the description or pinned comment. Join the members-only room. This isn't for everyone. But if you feel it already, you're probably meant to be in there. Sign 1. She fights you like she's trying to save herself from drowning. Wait, what? Listen, when a woman genuinely loves you, she'll argue like it's her religion. Not over laundry or what show to binge. I'm talking about the kind of fights that feel like open-heart surgery with kitchen knives. You want peace? Date someone who doesn't care if you leave. You want love? Strap in. Let's break this down. He's sitting on the edge of the bed. She's standing by the door, half crying, half furious, saying, "You don't get it. You never get it." And he's thinking, "We were fine yesterday. Why are we suddenly talking like we're in a courtroom drama?" Because love, real love, is a liability. It exposes you. And when she's in deep, when she's fallen not just for your smile, but your shadow, it terrifies her. You have to understand, when a woman loves you, she hands over nuclear codes. Emotional ones. The keys to the parts of her no one else has been allowed to touch. And if she even suspects you might drop them, she panics. This isn't about drama. It's about self-preservation. She's not attacking you. She's defending the version of herself that only exists in your presence. Soren Kierkegaard, a man who spent way too much time thinking about love, once said, "The greatest hazard of all, losing oneself, can occur very quietly in the world, as if it were nothing at all." Now read that again. She's not fighting because she's angry. She's fighting because she's scared of losing herself in you. That's the paradox. The woman who genuinely loves you will sometimes become the hardest person to be with. Because loving you means surrendering parts of herself she spent a lifetime protecting. Every argument, every overreaction, every misread text, that's her subconscious saying, "Please don't make me regret loving you." Sign 2. She shows you her ugly without warning. There's a moment in every real relationship that nobody talks about. It's not the first kiss. It's not the first, "I love you." It's when she lets you see her ugly. And no, I don't mean bad hair days or unfiltered selfies. I mean the emotional underbelly, the raw nerves, the chaos, the history she swore she'd never confess to anyone. When a woman truly loves you, there's a shift. Suddenly, her perfect composure becomes optional. Her emotional armor slips, not because she trusts you like a buddy, but because her soul, in some strange cosmic way, recognizes yours and says, "You can hold this. Now you need to understand this is sacred ground." When she lets the mask fall, when she tells you about her father leaving, or the friend who betrayed her, that's not weakness. That's war paint being removed. Sometimes it happens while she's slicing vegetables. Sometimes in bed, head on your chest. Sometimes mid-laugh when a memory hijacks her joy. And what she's thinking, what she's terrified of, is that this moment will make you pull away, that you'll get quiet, that you'll retreat. But here's the twist. She wants you to stay, but she's also testing if you're the kind of man who can love her philosophically. Love, at its core, is not about attraction. It's about exposure. We are all mosaics of beauty and brokenness. And when someone loves you truly, they stop curating. They stop editing the highlight reel and start showing you the cutting room floor. The most dangerous thing you can say in a relationship: "This is who I really am." And the most beautiful response? Not flinching. That's what she's doing when she shows you her ugly. She's risking your reaction. She's watching to see if the man who loves her in the light will still recognize her in the dark. If she's never cracked open around you, ask yourself, have you ever made her feel like her imperfections were welcome? Because when a woman loves you genuinely, she doesn't need to be adored. She needs to be accepted. Not in the Instagram version of herself, but in the version that spirals, second guesses, self-sabotages. If you want to know if she's in love with you, it's not when she looks flawless. It's when she lets you see the version of her she never posts about and prays you won't run. Sign 3. She gets weirdly quiet when she's proud of you. Most people expect love to be loud, but when a woman really loves you, her pride in you gets almost reverent. Let me explain. You just landed a new job. You crushed a workout streak. You opened up about something deep, something vulnerable. She smiles, but says almost nothing. Maybe she just stares for a second too long. And you think, why isn't she hyping me up? Why isn't she clapping? Because, my brother, she's absorbing you. She's not reacting like an outsider would. She's witnessing. And witnesses don't need to perform. They just need to be present. When a woman genuinely loves you, your wins don't surprise her. They validate something she already knew, that the man she chose is a force. And in those moments, she's not just admiring you. She's recalibrating her own identity to reflect the greatness she sees in you. Your progress, your inner glow-up, it humbles her, because she's not just your partner. She's your emotional shareholder. When you rise, something inside her gets redefined. She may not scream it. She may not even say, "I'm proud of you," directly. But watch for the silence, the long look, the subtle touch. That's love. Not clapping for the performance, but loving the man behind the curtain. Sign 4. She becomes territorial about your pain. You ever mention something from your past, something that hurt you, and she gets weirdly defensive? Like, she starts insulting your ex. Or she goes cold and distant like she's plotting revenge on someone you haven't spoken to in 5 years. That's not immaturity. That's not crazy girl behavior. That's emotional loyalty in its rawest form. When a woman truly loves you, she starts treating your trauma like it's her own. And sometimes, that love shows up like rage. Why? Because women don't just want to love you. They want to protect you. Not physically, but emotionally, spiritually, energetically. You're not just her man. You're her mirror. When she sees someone damaged you, it feels like an attack on her reflection. So she gets reactive. She gets protective. And yes, sometimes she says the wrong thing. Sometimes she fights ghosts from your past like they're in the room with you. But the psychology behind it is real. Neuroscience shows that people deeply bonded in love start to form shared emotional processing centers. Her brain actually starts feeling your emotional history as if it's her own. So when you hurt, even if it's old pain, she feels it. And her primal instinct is not to comfort first. It's to defend. She wants to retroactively fight the battles you never got to win. And while that energy might feel intense, or even confusing, it's proof that she doesn't just love the you of today. She's trying to rewrite the pain of the you who came before her. That's not just love. That's legacy. Sign 5. Her friends know you like you're a main character in her life. Let me ask you something. Have you ever met her friends, and they already know your catchphrases? They know you don't like pineapple on pizza. They know you always lose your keys. They know your weird obsession with documentaries on serial killers or Stoic philosophy. Yeah. That's not accidental. When a woman truly loves you, you don't exist in her life as a side plot. You become a central character in her mental novel. She talks about you, but not just the surface stuff. She recounts your stories. She quotes your jokes. She brags about your growth. And here's the important part. She doesn't just present your highlight reel. She shares the intimate human stuff. The way your voice changes when you're tired. The weird way you fold socks. The fact that you hate being comforted when you're angry, but secretly crave it. That's how you know. Because when women aren't serious, they keep you compartmentalized. You're a vibe, a moment, a maybe. You're him, until you're not. But when a woman is in deep, you're not just her boyfriend or partner. You're part of her internal language. And it shows up in how her world starts adapting to fit your presence. Not out of obligation, but out of reverence. Because love, real love, is not about possession. It's about integration. You didn't just show up in her world. You rewrote it. Sign 6. She mirrors your inner world. Even when you don't say a word. There's this strange thing that happens when a woman truly loves you. She starts reflecting emotions you haven't even spoken aloud. You walk into a room, and before you open your mouth, she knows you're not okay. You fake a smile, she doesn't buy it. You try to act strong. She sees the storm behind your eyes. That's not intuition. That's emotional synchronization. Science calls it limbic resonance. When two nervous systems begin to align due to deep emotional connection. But to put it in human terms, she's feeling you from the inside out. This is when love goes beyond words, beyond gestures, beyond even sex. This is soul-level recognition. And it's terrifying if you're not used to being seen like that, because suddenly you can't hide. Not from her, not from yourself. She mirrors your tension. She absorbs your silence. And she responds not with demands, but with presence. She may cook for you that night, or sit next to you without speaking, or touch your hand with that look that says, I know, I feel it too. That's not just a girlfriend. That's not just a woman. That's a sacred witness to your inner landscape. And when she mirrors you like that, Bro, she's not just loving who you are. She's loving the parts of you that never learned how to speak. Sign 7. She tries to heal you in the language she wishes someone used on her. This one's subtle. But once you see it, you can't unsee it. Sometimes she doesn't show love in your love language. Sometimes she shows it in hers. She brings you little gifts, even though you've never said gifts matter. She texts you long messages when you're quiet, even though you prefer space. At first, it might feel mismatched, like she's loving you the wrong way. But pause, zoom out, ask yourself, what pain is she trying to protect me from? Because that's the key. Most women love the way they wish they were loved. They nurture you in the language that would have saved them. If she was neglected, she might overcommunicate. If she was cheated on, she might obsess over transparency. If she was never affirmed, she might praise you constantly, even when you doubt yourself. It's not about control. It's not about insecurity. It's about her saying, I don't ever want you to feel what I felt. And that is a sacred offering. When a woman loves you deeply, she becomes part lover, part healer. She tries to break your cycles by rewriting hers. And that might not look perfect. It might come out clumsy or even overwhelming. But if you can see past the form, you'll feel the purity of the intent. She's not just trying to be your woman. She's trying to be the woman who restores what the world took from you. And that is a love you don't take lightly. Closing monologue. So many men spend their lives looking for love that screams, that performs, that sparkles in the sunlight. But the real ones, the real women, they love in the shadows, in the pauses, in the language of your wounds. They won't always say it out loud. They won't post it on Instagram. They might not even admit it to themselves. But if you pay attention, you'll feel it. In how she listens, in how she stays, in how she holds the version of you even you abandoned. That's real love. Not loud, but undeniable. So the next time you're wondering if she loves you, don't just look at what she says. Look at what she does when you're not looking. And if you're lucky enough to find a woman like that, don't just keep her. Grow into the man who deserves her. Because the deepest love isn't about finding someone who completes you. It's about finding someone who awakens the parts of you that were sleeping all along. Direct hit if you found this powerful. You'll want to watch our next video. How to spot a woman who's using you. Signs she's playing games. It's the flip side of this conversation. You need to recognize both kinds of women, the ones who build you and the ones who break you. Subscribe to save yourself. Reclaim your mind. Rebuild your heart. And rise.